We will now proceed to election of Speaker of the House. Nominations are in order. I will recognize Representative Hornstein from District 61A for the purpose of a nomination.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. Members and guests, it is my honor to place in nomination Representative Melissa Hortman for Speaker of the Minnesota House of Representatives. Representative Hortman is entering her 11th term and continues to make history as the longest-serving woman Speaker of the House. And it is with that sense of history and her important legacy that I am so proud to make this nomination. History, because Representative Hortman has led this House of Representatives through moments that will be written in history books for generations to come. A deadly global pandemic not seen in this country since 1918. An unprecedented violent assault on our nation's capital and the very democracy which we hold dear. A racial reckoning that originated in our state that reverberated around the globe. A land war in Europe, the most devastating since World War II, whose impacts on the world's economy and security have significantly affected Minnesota. And a deepening climate crisis that shows up in devastating droughts, floods, and extreme weather events. These times and this moment require the kind of strong, steady, creative, and inclusive leadership that Representative Hortman brings. When the pandemic struck, Representative Hortman led us with compassion and determination. Her #1 priority was our collective health and safety, and the health and safety of our incredible staff that showed up here with her day in and day out, and ensuring that the business of the House continued while most of us joined deliberations remotely, and we got our business done. And during her first 2 terms as Speaker, when Minnesota had divided state government and a polarized nation, Representative Hortman brought people together in the very difficult work that ensured passage of 2 state budgets. As we look to the future, our state and nation continue to face extraordinary challenges brought on by these profound historical events. Representative Melissa Hortman has proven time and time again that she is the leader for this moment. We need her bold vision and strength now more than ever. I'll never forget when my family visited the House for the first time on this day. And it's so great seeing some old faces and new faces that more than ever represent the diversity of our state. And I thank the wonderful families that support our work here. And so in closing, and in that spirit, I want to thank Representative Hortman's incredible husband, Mark, and her 2 wonderful and now all-grown children, Sophie and Colin, for your support. We in the Minnesota House and our state are so lucky to have her in our lives too. Members, please join me in supporting Representative Melissa Hortman for Speaker of the House of Representatives. Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you, Representative Hornstein. Are there any seconds to the nomination? I now recognize Representative Stevenson from District 35A.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. It's my great honor to second the nomination of my friend for 20 years, Melissa Hortman, to be Speaker of the Minnesota House of Representatives. 4 years ago, when Melissa was first elected Speaker, her name was placed into nomination by then Representative Mary Murphy, who sat right here in this desk. I was teasing my friend Representative Noor that now he has to be here for 46 years, now that he's picked this spot. But in her nominating speech, Representative Murphy drew upon her decades of service as well as conversations with members on both sides of the aisle to come up with a list of qualities that she thought a good speaker should have. and I wrote them down. We have here wisdom, strength, focus, discipline, sense of humor, vision, calm, fair, think about the youth, inclusive, energetic, tough, innovative, good listener, fun, and promote civility. That is a big list, a tall order. I am imagining Speaker Hortman sitting over there thinking, oh, is that all that I have to do? But I think in the last 4 years, Speaker Hortman has demonstrated that she is more than up to the job. As Chair Hornstein said, talk about degree of difficulty, the last 4 years have been full of incredible and historic challenges. A global pandemic, the murder of George Floyd, historic inflation, rising gun violence, all while being in the only divided legislature in the country, requiring her to work across the aisle, build consensus, be the adult in the room. And look at her record. On Speaker Hortman's watch, we have passed major piece of legislation after major piece of legislation through this House. And while we didn't always find a willing partner in the Senate, Speaker Hortman still delivered hugely significant wins for Minnesotans. Among the biggest, the Alex Smith Emergency Insulin Act, the Comprehensive Opioid Response Bill, historic police reform and accountability, the toughest wage theft bill in the country, hero pay for frontline workers, the largest bonding bill in Minnesota history, and we freed the growler. With a record like that, it's easy to see why Minnesotans have returned this majority and its leader, Speaker Hortman, and that is no small thing. This is now the longest majority in the Minnesota House in 20 years. Only 2 other people have been elected 3 full terms as Speaker since we started electing partisan legislatures. When we elect Melissa Hortman Speaker today, she will be the first DFLer in 50 years to be elected Speaker on the opening day of the legislature 3 times. And as Chair Hornstein said, she will become the longest serving female Speaker in the history of our state. But I believe the best is yet to come. Many months ago, long before the election, Speaker Hortman and I were talking about her time as Speaker, and she said to me, I just wish we had a trifecta. Then I could really show people what I can do. Members, we have a historic opportunity to do good for the people of Minnesota this year, to make people's lives better. And Speaker Hortman is the person we need in that moment. Please vote for her, because as the Speaker said just yesterday, we are really ready to go.
Thank you, Representative Stevenson. I now recognize Representative Torkelson from District 15B for the purpose of a nomination.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Members, it's my pleasure and honor to nominate Representative Lisa Demuth for the Speaker of the House. Representative Demuth is entering her 3rd term and 5th year in the Minnesota House of Representatives. In just her 2nd term, Representative Demuth earned the respect and trust of her colleagues and was elected to serve as an assistant minority leader. She has been a bridge builder here in the legislature, working across the aisle on important policy issues through her work on the early childhood, education, finance, and health policy committees. Representative Demuth is sincere in her desire to work across the aisle and to bring the priorities of Minnesotans from each of our districts here to the Capitol. She'll work across the aisle when it's in the best interest of Minnesotans, but won't back down from a fight if the fight needs to happen. Representative Demuth knows that inflation has been hard on Minnesotans and is ready to work on tax cuts for families with our historic surplus to help make life a bit more affordable for Minnesota families and stop the overtaxation we see in state government. She knows that Minnesotans support investments in law enforcement, accountability for criminals, and other efforts to make our communities more safe. She'll work to crack down on the waste and fraud we've seen in state government and make sure that Minnesotans know their tax dollars are being well spent. She will lead Minnesota House with respect for all and focused on the priorities that Minnesotans sent us here to work on. I am proud to nominate Representative Lisa Demuth for Speaker of the House. I know she will be a collaborative leader who will deliver for Minnesotans. I ask for your support. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Secretary.
Thank you, Representative Torkelson. Are there any seconds to that nomination? I recognize Representative Perryman of District 14A.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. It's my honor to second the nomination for my friend, Representative Lisa Demuth, to be our Speaker of the House. She brings to this role tremendous life experience that has informed her work as a legislator and will inform her work as a leader in this body. Like me, Representative Lisa Demuth is from central Minnesota, but has also lived in Minneapolis and the Twin Cities metro area where she went to school. She served on the Rocori School Board for a number of years, winning a write-in campaign for her first election in 2007. She's a business owner who has seen firsthand the difficulties many businesses faced over the past few years during COVID. She's also a wife to her husband, Nick. She is a mother of 4 and a grandmother of 6. Representative Demuth didn't run for leader or for speaker to make history. But standing here today, that's exactly what she has done and is happening. Representative Demuth is the first woman to lead the House Republican caucus. She is the first person of color to serve as a caucus leader in the Minnesota House and to be nominated for Speaker of the House. Representative Demuth's priorities are Minnesotans' priorities, and I know she will bring character, collaboration, spirit, and a thoughtful approach to our important work here over the next 2 years. I am very proud and so proud to second the nomination for Representative Lisa Demuth to ask for your support for the honor of the nomination of Lisa Demuth. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Perryman. Are there any further nominations? Any further nominations? Any further nominations? If not, I declare the nominations closed. The 2 candidates nominated for Speaker of the House are Representative Hortman and Representative Demuth. The Clerk Pro Tem will call the roll on the election of Speaker.
Acom. Acom votes Hortman. Agbaje. Agbaje votes Hortman. Altendorf. Altendorf votes Demuth. Anderson P.E. Anderson P.E. votes Demuth. Anderson P.H. Anderson P.H. votes Demuth. Backer. Backer votes Demuth. Bonner. Bonner votes Hortman. Bakeberg. Bakeberg votes Demuth. Baker. Baker votes Demuth. Becker-Fenn. Becker-Fenn votes Hortman. Bennett. Bennett votes Demuth. Berg. Berg votes Hortman. Bierman. Bierman votes Hortman. Bliss. Brand. Brand votes Hortman. Burkle. Burkle votes Demuth. Carroll.
Carroll votes Hortman.
Carroll votes Hortman. Cha. Cha votes Hortman. Clarity. Clarity votes Hortman. Coulter. Coulter votes Hortman. Curran. Curran votes Hortman. Daniels. Daniels votes Demuth. Doubt. Doubt votes Demuth. Davids. Davids votes Demuth. Davis. Davis votes Demuth. Damath. Damath votes Damath. Dotseth. Dotseth votes Damath. Edelson. Edelson votes Hortman. Elkins. Elkins votes Hortman. Angen. Angen votes Damath. Feist. Feist votes Hortman. Finke. Finke votes Hortman. Fisher. Fisher votes Hortman. Fogelman. Fogelman votes Damath. Franzen. Franzen votes Damath. Frazier. Frazier votes Hortman. Frederick. Frederick votes Hortman. Freiberg. Freiberg votes Hortman. Garofalo. Garofalo votes Damath. Gilman. Gilman votes Damath. Gomez. Gomez votes Hortman. Greenman. Greenman votes Hortman. Grossel. Grossel votes Damath. Hanson R. Hanson R votes Hortman. Hanson J. Hanson J votes Hortman. Harder. Harder votes Damath. Hassan. Hassan votes Hortman. Heinzman. Heinzman votes Damath. Hymingson Yeager. Hymingson Yeager votes Hortman. Herr. Herr votes Hortman. Hicks. Hicks votes Hortman. Hill. Hill votes Hortman. Hollins. Hollins votes Hortman. Hornstein. Hornstein votes Hortman. Hortman. Hortman votes Hortman. Howard. Howard votes Hortman. Hudella. Hudella votes Damath. Hudson. Hudson votes Damath. Hewitt. Hewitt votes Hortman. Hussein. Hussein votes Hortman. Igo. Igo votes Damath. Jacob. Jacob votes Damath. Johnson. Johnson votes Damath. Jordan. Jordan votes Hortman. Joy. Joy votes Damath. Healer. Healer votes Hortman. Heel. Heel votes Damath. Cleavorn. Cleavorn votes Hortman. Knutson. Knutson votes Damath. Cagle. Cagle votes Hortman. Katiza-Watun. Katiza-Watun votes Hortman. Kozlowski. Kozlowski. Kozlowski votes Hortman. Kosnick. Kosnick votes Damath. Kraft. Kraft votes Hortman. Kresha. Kresha votes Damath. Lee F. Lee F votes Hortman. Lee K. Lee K votes Hortman. Liebling. Liebling votes Hortman. Lilly. Lilly votes Hortman. Lislagard. Lislagard votes Hortman. Long. Long votes Hortman. McDonald. McDonald votes Damath. Mecklin. Mecklin votes Damath. Moeller. Moeller votes Hortman. Mueller. Mueller votes Damath. Murphy. Murphy votes Damath. Myers. Myers votes Damath. Nadeau. Nadeau votes Damath. Nash. Nash votes Damath. Nelson M. Nelson M votes Hortman. New Brindley. New Brindley votes Damath. Newton. Newton votes Hortman. Niska. Niska votes Damath. Noor. Noor votes Hortman. Norris. Norris votes Hortman. Novotny. Novotny votes Damath. O'Driscoll. O'Driscoll votes Damath. Olson B. Olson B votes Damath. Olson L. Olson L votes Hortman. O'Neill. O'Neill votes Damath. Pulowski. Pulowski votes Hortman. Perez Vega. Perez Vega votes Hortman. Perryman. Perryman votes Damath. Petersburg. Petersburg votes Damath. Farr. Farr votes Damath. Pinto. Pinto votes Hortman. Pryor. Pryor votes Hortman. Purcell. Purcell votes Hortman. Quam. Quam votes Damath. Ream. Ream votes Hortman. Ryer. Ryer votes Hortman. Richardson. Richardson votes Hortman. Robbins. Robbins votes Damath. Shoemaker. Schumacher votes Damath. Schultz. Schultz votes Damath. Scott. Scott votes Damath. Censor Mira. Censor Mira votes Hortman. Scraba. Scraba votes Damath. Smith. Smith votes Hortman. Stevenson. Stevenson votes Hortman. Swazinski. Swazinski votes Damath. Tabke. Tabke votes Hortman. Torkelson. Torkelson votes Damath. Erdahl. Erdahl votes Damath. Vang. Vang votes Hortman. West. West votes Damath. Wiener. Wiener votes Damath. Weens. Weens votes Damath. Whitty. Whitty votes Damath. Wolgamott. Wolgamott votes Hortman. Zhang. Zhang votes Hortman. Joachim. Joachim votes Hortman. Zalesnikar. Zalesnikar votes Damath. Nelson N. Nelson N votes Damath.
The results of the roll call on the election of Speaker of the Minnesota House are as follows. Representative Hortman has 70 votes, and Representative Damath has 63 votes. I therefore declare Representative Hortman duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives for the 2023-2024 session. Thank you to the members who escorted the Speaker-elect. They were Representatives Pat Garofalo, Representative Rick Hansen, Representative Tina Liebling, and Representative Leon Lilly. I call on the Honorable Ann K. McKeag, Associate Justice of the Minnesota Supreme Court, to give the oath of office to the Speaker-elect.
Nice to see you again. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the office to which you have just been elected to the best of your ability, so help you God?
I do.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
It is my great honor and privilege to present the gavel to you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
Good job.